Dr. Jason Pozner, a plastic surgeon from Boca Raton, Florida, and welcome to yet another adventure in No Spin Live. Today we have two world-class experts, Dr. Craig Colville from Toledo, Ohio, and Dr. Anu Bajaj from Oklahoma City. And we have two really cool stories to talk about today on No Spin Live. So an article from Scientific American that talks about how different parts of our body age in different directions, and how our face may age faster than our breast, for example, and how our heart may age. So Anu, why don't you take this and lead us off on this and kind of let's discuss this.
Well, so I think what's interesting about it is aging is multifactorial, and it also is related to how our own health and how we take care of ourselves, as well as our genetics. And I think that's why it makes sense that different parts of our body will age at different rates, because if your heart's going to age at a different rate, that's also going to be related to what you eat and your family history and your genetic predisposition. And your skin aging may be more related to sun exposure, or whether you smoke, or whether you take good care of your skin or not. So it makes total sense that parts of our bodies will age differently.
You know, generally as a plastic surgeon, if someone's had 4 heart attacks and, a couple strokes, they're not coming in for cosmetic surgery. But we do see a lot of people with some of the extremes of photo damage and, lines around their mouth and really sagging skin. Craig, what do you say?
Well, I think that's absolutely true. And the other interesting thing is when sometimes people come in and they almost feel guilty for coming in, but that something bothers them. And it's really simple. If they sit there and they feel like they've aged differently, or their neck is 4 times different than most of their friends, then I don't see that that's a big issue for them. And they kind of get relaxed about that. And if they're not within the normal or the usual for most of their friends, I think that's what brings people in. And it's not that they want 1 millimeter off their nasal tip. It's when they feel that they got the short end of the stick in something, whether it's neck or facial aging, and it just didn't work out for them through age or through other surgeries that they've had that did something to their body. And so I think it's totally normal. And I think that article helps explain to them that some of this is just an aging process, and some of it's just how they've gone through life. So when they get way different, it'd be great to help them back.
I usually tell them it's their mother's fault. There's a big, right? But I mean, there's a big genetic component in what we see. I mean, look, my mom had her eyes done, and I had my eyes done last year because I couldn't do these videos on Plastic Surgery Channel anymore. I wanted to hide my eyes. But it bothered me. But we live in this world every day, so it's nothing for one of us to say you need a blef and get a blef. For some people, they've been researching this for years and years. But I think the point of this article is it explains the reason why someone who's 45 may come in for their neck, while you might see someone else who's 65 or 70 who has a perfect neck. But as a plastic surgeon, I think we're very well equipped to deal with very different aspects of aging. So if someone's coming in and has a great face, but their body's looking off, I mean, Craig, what do you think? I mean, your face is great, but it could be that your belly is aging at a different rate.
Right. And if they want to work on that, then get them back into a more uniform aging situation for their whole body and self, then I think that's great. And that's usually what they're after. When something's a little bit out of whack compared to everything else on their body, that's a common thing that brings them in. And they also talk about their mothers, and they go, I don't want to turn into my mother. They don't all say that, but some of them say that.
Yeah.
A lot of them will say that. The other thing is for different people, different parts of their body will bother them more. And that's what also brings them in, going into the next story you wanted to discuss.
Right. I mean, so many times, like before we get to the next story, I mean, a patient comes in and they're coming in for something. You look at it like, that's not too bad, but maybe you got a big gobbler that I would address. We have to kind of shut up a little bit when we discuss those options with a patient, because I always ask them, well, what's bothering you? Because we've all been in the situations where you think they're in for one thing and it's completely the opposite.
It can happen.
Alrighty, guys, thank you so much. For more information, please go to theplasticsurgerychannel.com, and we have tons of videos about a lot of topics there.